In today's episode of The Tenant, I'm in Mumbai. In Mumbai, I'm in the western suburb of Borivali. Our tenant today is a man who advocated renting over buying for many years, but now has chosen to buy a home himself. Why has he done that? What works and what doesn't? Let's meet him. Hi, Ankur.
Hey Vishal,
Good to see you.
same here.
Okay. So this is it, huh?
Yeah, that's our place.
So how big is this apartment?
So this is a 2 BHK, about 740 square feet. Yeah.
And how many people live here?
So we're 4 of us who stay here. Me, my parents and my brother.
Okay. So 740 square feet, 2 BHK, 4 of you are living here.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Now, what is it that makes a person who once upon a time was a hardline renter into becoming a homeowner, into buying a home? You want a home, you're a homeowner but you haven't moved in yet.
So a lot of things, but primarily I think it's, one is I did it because of my parents. So they've always been advocates that we should have our own place, and after the point I also thought that, why keep them moving every 4 or 5 years. So wanted a place for them, wanted stability for them. So that was one reason. The other reason also, I'm in that stage of life now where, the income is better, the mindset has changed. It's more about having that stability over moving every 4 to 5 years.
So just when you were earlier a hardline renter, what was it just sheer economics that made you a hardline renter कि rent पे रहना चाहिए? Buying a home is a waste of money.
Yeah, it was majorly driven by the economics and the numbers. But like I said,
What are the economics that were there, that were playing in your mind?
So obviously it's cheaper to rent. It's your EMI when you take a home on a loan, the EMI amount is way higher compared to what you pay as rent for the same home. Plus you're paying interest, so that I was seeing as an expense that's wasted.
Why is Ankur and family in Borivali? कितने सालों से आप यहाँ पे हैं?
So it's been about 7.5, 8 years now since we moved here. And we like Borivali as a place because it's a little less noisy. It's on the outskirts of Mumbai. There is a lot more greenery here if you see. Whether it is around my building or you look at, say, Sanjay Gandhi National Park, which is about 10 minutes from here. You don't get this kind of greenery, I think, in the heart of Bombay, except South Bombay if you go, obviously. But apart from that, I don't think you'll find this kind of greenery anywhere. In fact, when you come from Western Express Highway and your car's windshields are down, you will see a noticeable difference in the temperature the minute you enter Borivali or the minute you cross Kandivali. So it just shows that there's a lot more greenery, the weather is better, it's more cooler here.
So basically Borivali is the hill station of western suburbs.
Yeah, if you put it that way.
So did you explore locations like Andheri, Ghatkopar, Chembur, or for you it was only Borivali?
We were mainly trying for Kandivali or Borivali. The other reason was my dad's office is also, he has his own business, so that's also here.
So tell me, for somebody who's been renting for 7.5 years, but then has decided to do a change in their housing status in a way, from being a renter to an owner to buying a home, is it easy to reconcile yourself to a hard-held position that you kept?
I'll be honest, it's financially, like I said, I still think it makes more sense to rent. But we are not seeing this as an investment. It's an expense that we are doing for a house. It's like buying anything else, right? The way I convinced myself was, I buy a car, it's not an investment. A house is not a financial investment per se. It's just that safety net that you have. It happened gradually, right? Like my parents played a big part in kind of convincing me, and then
What did they do?
I mean, my dad was always of the opinion that, you know, being of their generation, they were like, you know, we have to buy our own place. And then, you know, so I'm not married, and that was another factor that kept coming in. They were like, India mein ladki kaun dega if you're staying on rent and all of that. So
how big a factor do you think this marriage, the eligibility of people to get married because they stay in a rented home versus a owned home?
So again, I don't have the exact numbers, but maybe out of every 10 girls I speak to, 2 have a concern with the fact that I don't own a home. But that's 2 who are saying it out loud. So maybe another 3-4 would not even say it out loud. So I would say at least 50% of the girls I met may have a problem with this.
So basically, home ownership is important if you want to get married.
Yeah.
The garden in this house, where do Ankur and family spend most of their time? This is a living room that I can see is the kitchen area.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you spend most of your time?
It's mostly here. I mean, me and my dad, my brother, me and my dad are not at home for most of the day because we're at office. My mother's here. But yeah, whenever we are, the hall is where we are. And we watch TV together on some nights, and if you see, the seating also is, you know, like my dad has this fixed seating. He'll get up in the morning, read the newspaper on that chair. My mom will sit there and they'll chit chat for about half an hour, 45 minutes while having tea. So yeah, the hall is one place where all of us are there together.
So this is the family room in a way.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. What's the one thing about Borivali that most people don't know in your view?
I think it's a paradise for food lovers, mainly for vegetarians. But like just 10 minutes away from my place is this place called Mahavir Nagar. There you get, like, you name the cuisine, you'll get it. Whether you talk about Italian, you talk about Gujarati food, you talk about Mexican, anything and everything is just available. And there are about 9,500 outlets that are there.
Okay, this thing covers your living room or the family room as you called it. This will be what, your first bathroom?
Yeah, this is the common bathroom.
This will be the wash basin.
Yeah, that's the wash basin.
And lots of storage space over here, huh?
Yeah, in fact, this whole flat has a lot of storage. That's also one reason why we took this house. My mom was very happy.
Okay. And this is the first of the 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, that's right.
And this bed, this is what symbolizes that Ankur's journey as a renter over here is coming to an end.
Yeah, so we're moving a lot of stuff. In fact, a lot of the luggage you see is we're packing up to shift because we're shifting in another 10 days or so. So yeah, a lot of the stuff is getting packed right now.
How easy was it to buy a home?
Not very easy. Like renting, you can still, you know, be a little relaxed about the kind of home you buy because, you know, if you don't like it, you can move out in a year or so. But owning a home is a much longer term decision, right? So we had to see a lot of properties. I mean, if I saw 25 houses while renting, I would have seen probably 50 while buying.
What are the 2 or 3 parameters that you definitely wanted or you didn't want for sure? What are deal breakers?
So, I mean, we wanted a locality where, you know, there are people, you know, who my parents can gel with because they are the ones who are going to be spending most of the time. Me and my brother are not going to be at home for a long time, right? So that was one thing which was very important. Second was second was proximity. How close is it to, say, a metro station? Because anyway, Borivali and Kandivali are a little on the suburbs. So how close is it to the metro station? That again was very important. Apart from that, we also wanted a relatively larger sized house. So that's why we kind of were more keen on, you know, getting a resale flat because the older buildings have a higher carpet area comparatively.
But you didn't want a new property under construction?
We did look at under construction properties also, but we've had a sort of a bad experience in the past with a builder. So we didn't want to go in for a property where the possession was after a year or even after 6 months because of the past experience. So yeah,
what was the past experience like?
So we had invested some money with a builder and we ended up not getting any of it back. So that was a really, really bad experience, which is why all of us were of the opinion that we don't want to go for an under construction property unless the OC has been received.
So this bedroom, last, like you said, 10 more days over here, this was your and your brother's room?
Yeah.
Tell me, for a person who thinks very dispassionately about his housing. You said you're treating the home like an expense, like you buy a car.
Yeah.
Would it be fair for me to say that you are now at that stage where what matters to you is no longer just money?
Yeah, it's not, you're right. I mean, I don't know if it's just me or if it's a natural progression, but in your 30s, you kind of, a lot of your mindset shift happens for a lot of things. Like I said right now, buying the home was mainly for my parents, even though I know that financially it makes more sense to rent and everything. I'm treating it as an expense. It's something that I'm paying for and I'm getting something in return. That's what I'm looking. I'm not hoping that the money will grow or it's an investment or whatever.
Do you work with a scenario like many old timers? They have this notion. I think it's a misconception, obviously, but that home prices only go up. In your mind, given that you're from now a different generation, do you work with the possibility that I'm buying a home, it can go down, but it doesn't matter the price of it?
Yeah. I'm, like I said, it's an expense. So the way a car depreciates, I'm okay if my home depreciates also. I mean, I would hope that it doesn't happen, but yeah, that's fine. So, and in fact, I've seen over the past, because when we were buying this, when we decided that we want to buy a house, we took a lot of factors into consideration. So one of it was also to see whether homes have appreciated in our locality or not. And the appreciation was hardly 2 to 3 or 4%. So we've taken a conscious call after knowing that, it may not appreciate or it may remain the same.
So when you said you've done a lot of research in terms of the housing market before you buying a home, for this apartment, when you came to rent over here, what was the rent amount? What is it today? And what was the value of this home now versus 7.5 years back?
So I think the rent has, in 7.5 years, I think the rent has increased by about 30% or so.
From what to what?
So it was about 32,000 when we had come. And about a month back, it was about 42,000. Now it's increased to 48, but yeah, that's how it has been.
So 32,000 to 42,000.
Yeah.
In the last 7.5
years.
And did you check the value of properties when you moved in?
Yeah. So say about a property that cost around 1.6 crores here, now goes for anywhere between 1.9 and 2 crores.
Okay. So rentals have gone up more than the purchase price.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so this thing covers your and your brother's bedroom. I can see the storage that you have here as well.
Yeah.
Lots of space to.
There's actually some more hidden storage there as well. Okay. So yeah, there is a lot of storage.
Okay, this thing covers the first bedroom. Up ahead will be your second bedroom. This is the master bedroom, huh?
Yeah, this is where my parents live.
How easy has been the process of shifting from one rented home to an owned?
Oh, I think not many people talk about this, but it's painful to say the least. Especially if you're getting interiors done and all. For example, our new flat, we were told that interiors would be completed in say a month. It's been 4 months and we're still here, and another 10 days more. So it's not easy to shift when you're, especially when you're doing your interiors of your house.
What's the big challenge?
One is, like I said, the timelines are way off. We were committed a month, but it's been 4 months already. The other is even the cost, right? If they quote an X amount, it'll easily go to 1.5x. Plus, you have to be there every day. So, fortunately for us, the new house is 10 minutes away. But if you buy it in a far off place, how are you going to keep juggling to see ki kitna kaam hua hai, what has happened, what has not happened? So, that in itself is very, very painful, I would say.
You said the many strengths about it. What's the weakness about living in this part of Borivali?
I think the only one weakness I would say is that it's far from the center of Bombay. So my office is in Andheri. So I spend an hour traveling to work and an hour traveling back. I think apart from that, I don't think there is any other inconvenience that's there or any other disadvantage that's there to living in Borivali.
Ankur, what were the two big surprises you faced when you were looking to buy a home? Were there some surprises or it went according to plan? What you thought of?
Oh no. I think two things that I can talk about. One is one thing that came as a big surprise was, as a family, generally we are all always on the same page, more or less. But when it came to buying a house, my God, like I said, we saw more than 50 properties, and a major reason was because 4 people had to be convinced of that property. So major reason why we spent so much time, we spent a good 6-8 months to finalize a house, and that also when we were doing it very aggressively. Everybody was just not on the same page. Like for one person it was कि यार इसका room बहुत छोटा है. For my mother it was कि kitchen is not up to the mark. For my father it was that the building doesn't have a good compound or whatever. For me it was कि view अच्छा नहीं है. So somewhere getting 4 people to come on the same page was extremely difficult, and this was a big surprise for me. More than anything else, it taught me about my family कि we are not always on the same page.
And the second surprise?
Second thing was, we were very, very shocked to see this, that the same 2 BHK in the same locality, with the same carpet area, with compared to another 2 BHK in the same locality with the same carpet area, the difference in pricing was way too much. I would say more than 30 to 40%. Like a particular building, if it has say a Jain temple, the cost is like 40%, 50% higher. So this was a surprise for us.
Did you think of, since you said renting and then you bought, did you not think of buying a home in this place where you're renting only?
We did, but like I said, we love this place. This was love at first sight. But this building may undergo redevelopment, so nobody is willing to sell flats here.
Okay. You said earlier that you're paying a rent of 42,000, correct?
Yeah.
This has been a long journey for you, right?
Yeah.
As a renter.
Yeah.
As a owner now, what's the next thing you want to do?
So
10 days away.
So I'm pretty excited because it's a new place, and another advantage of owning your own house is you get to make it the way you want to make it. Like here, a lot of the things are the way they were made. The color, the kind of wardrobe you have and everything. There we've got everything made according to our own convenience. So I'm pretty excited to kind of go there and sit on the sofa and see my 55-inch TV that we've just purchased. So that is going to be very, very exciting for me. But like I said, it's probably the next step in my journey. Maybe a few years later we'll also end up opting for a 3 BHK, or maybe once I get married, I'm open to kind of renting another 1 BHK again if me and my partner want to have our own space. So like I said, I'm open to that. But for now, I'm just excited to move into my own house, which is made according to what we want.
So basically, after making money and focusing only on money as a renter, now you want to enjoy the fruits of that money by being the owner.
Yeah.
Okay, but you said you're okay moving on rent again.
Yeah.
In future.
Yeah. So like I said, this was majorly an investment. Investment is the wrong word, but this was majorly for my family, for my parents. So I'm still young. I can probably buy another house a few years down the line. But like I said, I'm open to exploring living on rent again, because we already own a property on my name. So I mean, that checkbox is ticked off that way.
Okay. On that note, Ankur, thank you for coming on The Tenant, from being a hardline renter to becoming a homeowner. It's been quite the journey for you. Good luck going forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Time for the report card. This is a 2 BHK of 740 square feet in a standalone building. Location, this is Borivali, a very green neighborhood, although it's very distant from major hubs of Mumbai. It's in the extreme corner of the western suburbs. It has strengths in terms of its convenience as well as greenery and proximity to the national park. Lots of eateries and cafes, very vibrant neighborhood. Connectivity exists via rail as well as metro connectivity, though both of them from here need some degree of transport. Walkable distance is to an extent high. In terms of road transport, this has good proximity to the Western Express Highway that connects you to locations like Bandra Complex. All in all, if you're a person that wants to be in a green neighborhood, wants to be in a location not very noisy, wants to be close to nature, wants to have a reasonable budget, this is a sort of location and project that can be considered. Are you looking for the perfect home? Stop looking around, scan the QR code and explore from thousands of rental properties, read resident reviews and make an informed decision with 99acres.com.